Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another JaKaTaK cast. I just want to get this out of the way right in the beginning. This is a Heart of the Swarm game. The reason why I'm casting Heart of the Swarm, wanted to stick to Legacy of the Void, is that I've run out of replays that are in Legacy of the Void. So if you want to see some Legacy of the Void games on this channel, all you have to do is send your replay to JaKaTaKtv at gmail.com and say, hey Jack, I did a Legacy of the Void game. Please cast this as yourself, or as BroJack, or as a person who can only rhyme, or you can, make up anything you want. But basically, that is what it is. And we have, as a result, our player in the top left-hand side of the screen, we've got Cold Steel, who's making a lot of barracks. And in the bottom right-hand corner of our screen, we've got Chavinsky, who is making almost as many barracks. And this is a Silver League game. So we're gonna probably get a little bit analytical on things and try to see what's going on, maybe try to find some areas in which these players could make some improvements. And we do have the first expansion coming down for Cold Steel. So a little bit slow, a little bit on the slow side as far as expansions go, but I think that was a miss rally. Interesting, the SCV is going across the map there. But I really got to hand it to Cold Steel here, keeping the Marine up in front and even taking the watchtower as well. Getting your flashlight out there so you can see through the darkness, as Polt would say. And it's very nice. It's a good thing to have because you can know when your opponent's going to attack you, and you can know when it's safe to expand. Another small thing that you can do, although it oftentimes costs you the Marine, is poke the front so you can go and see, this is my opponent's army. It's kind of small. Nothing too much to worry about here. Whoa. Interesting. Gotta be able to get the kill here. Nicely done. Even preventing the scout, and looks like the front has come to him, so Cold Steel knows the size of his opponent's army, or potentially the size of his opponent's army, which is quite small. And when that kind of a thing happens, when you see your opponent has a small army, you can go ahead and make lots of workers. Now, of course, the three major things, if you're a new player, if you're in Silver League, Gold League, or Bronze League, what you need to do in order to get better in the fastest possible way is build workers consistently, which we're not seeing from either player. Look even up in the production tab, right? That's not happening. And the reason for that is gold, silver, and bronze are what I like to call the stuff league. And that's the league in which if you have more stuff than your opponent, you're going to win. If you just focus on having more stuff, not really mattering what kind of stuff it is, if it's tech stuff, not tech stuff, what kind of units you feel like making, doesn't really matter as long as you have more stuff. And you can get significantly more stuff than your opponent because the general level of macro proficiency at this level is low enough where you can just overwhelm your opponent with the number of forces, the sheer number of forces that you have going on. And to do that, you have to make sure you're building your supply structures on time. So Cold Steel, nice and on time, ahead of time, very good. And you got to make sure these workers are cranking out. Macro is the skill of spending and gathering money. So building workers actually spend some of your money, but the main point is that it increases your income. So you can be really great at spending your money, but if you never make workers, you actually don't have good macro. It's kind of how it works. You need both of those parts there. Gonna get a nice scout in here. We're gonna see that his opponent is also not making workers. Now, the 16 out of 16 might be a little bit misleading here, which is interesting. Before, it was even more misleading. Now it's only slightly misleading. Nice kills over here, by the way. A little bit of focus fire. May have gotten another one, but nicely done overall. And over here, we have building the workers again, getting up to 16. And now, while getting up to 16 workers is good, that's definitely what you want to do, you can also take this main structure, this command center, and you can rally it over to this base. So that way you can have both of your structures going ahead and making workers for this base, and you can fill this base up to 16 too. The other thing you can do is you can preempt the fact that you're going to take an expansion by getting more than 16 workers over here, and that's okay, right? There are actually 2 levels that are involved. There's 16 and then there's 24. 16 is efficient, which is, you want to hit 16, 3, and 3 in all your bases, and you want to spend all that money. And then you have 24, which is maximal. After 24, you actually don't get any income increase, but 17, 18, 19, you will get a slight income increase. And actually 17 and 18 workers will get you 99% of what the first 16 will per worker. So just keep that in mind. Throwing the Reapers into the army, not really suggested. They're more of they're not really a brute force move. Nice little move trying to attack the tanks here. Just keep in mind that whenever that's going on, right, you're trying to focus fire a target. You have to also be careful about the units that are in the front because they're dealing damage to you too. And you don't want to focus fire something too far in the back because you're just going to take a bunch of free damage. And, it's sort of basic math. You want to take as little damage as possible and deal as much damage as possible. And if all your units are chasing one unit, and actually almost all their units except one tank, right? They're dealing damage to your units. That's no good, right? The equation doesn't work in your favor, and that's what you want to do. Ooh, nice backing up from the siege tanks there. Really got to be smart about engaging siege tanks. They're very powerful units, especially when your units all clumped up like this. So if you're going to go ahead and make an engagement. Oh man, I love the attention to detail here. I'm going to go ahead and leave a unit back here just to see when the opponent is moving out. Just very smart, staying on top of that. So really great from Cold Steel there. But of course, we always, want to work on as much as we can, and this worker production is definitely something. Nice rally though. Cold Steel has realized that they can rally over and it'll be very good. So Chavinsky's still, I think, just not realizing that that's a possibility for increased efficiency. So Chavinsky, if you're out there, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and rally over, and you'll be able to get saturation on this base much faster, and that's going to allow you to have a bigger army, which again, if you are in the first 3 leagues, that should be your #1 priority for fastest improvement. Doesn't mean you have to improve that way, right? It's always up to your style. If you want to have really, really good micro, and that's how you want to improve in the beginning, because that's fun for you, then do that. That's great. I'm just going to let you know what the biggest changes in your play, right? What's the biggest changes in your results? This is kind of funny, because it's a TVT. He's a Terran too. And why do you Terrans wall in so much? He's like, I don't wall in. I just make Reapers as part of my main army. Which is, #creative, right? That's something that not a lot of people do, but oftentimes there's a reason for that. So the reason in this case why Reapers aren't usually part of a main army force is that their strength lies in raiding and running around, which we're going to see, I think, a little bit of that. Nicely done. Gets all the Reapers in. Too bad they don't have the Reaper grenades, because this would be awesome. But just going to run in here, get some kills, hopefully. Going to attack this tech lab. I think that was a bit of an attack move or something like that. Taking a ninja base, always a fun time. But yeah, back to the main discussion line there. You can improve any way you want to improve. Don't let someone, even me or even someone who's famous like Day9, tell you how to improve. You'll notice actually Day9 won't tell you how to improve. He'll tell you ways that you can improve, but he'll never say, you should do this, right? So I'm gonna follow in his footsteps there, and also I subscribe to that idea that you should improve in the way that's enjoyable to you. You should say, oh, this is a cool strategy, I want to try it out. Does it have to be viable? No, absolutely not. It's fun, and you playing StarCraft, anytime you play StarCraft, you're going to get better at StarCraft. And if you have fun while you're getting better at StarCraft, you're just going to naturally play more. And volume is important. You have to get a certain amount of volume in. The more volume you get in, the faster you're going to improve. And of course, if that volume is quality volume, you're also going to improve a lot as well. But you can crank up the quality so high that it becomes unfun to you. Oh my god. Oh, this is a huge catch. Let's see if Chavinsky can line him up and get these kills. Trying, look. Oh man, coming back for the battle here. Oh, look at that. Cold Steel moving up, doing some target firing. And this is exactly what I was talking about. And that's it. That's it. Let's talk about this for a second, right? Cold Steel clearly the one who sent in the replay because Chavinsky has already left and Cold Steel's still in the game. Gonna go ahead. I love this. Gonna go ahead and say, all right, cool, I won. I'm gonna go destroy all of my opponent's buildings. If that's fun for you, go ahead and do that. This is great. I am so happy about this. This is phenomenal. But in any case, so this is the way that a lot of Silver, Gold, and Bronze League games end, where nothing too much happens, not too much goes on, and then all of a sudden there's a big fight, and then the person with more stuff wins. So there's, like I said, two major ways you can go around that. You can say, okay, I'm gonna make sure I'm the person who has the more stuff, and just really focus on your worker production, getting your saturation up, and constantly making units, especially Terran. Just constantly make units out of all your unit producing facilities. Have no idle time. Have no idle time in any of your facilities at all. And you're gonna, do well. That's sort of the macro approach. But then also you have the more aggressive kind of micro approach where you try to find units and unit compositions and different things available to you that you can go ahead and make advantage of and maybe kill a bunch of their workers. So it's, hey, they made a bunch of more workers than you, that's great, but you have really strong unit control. I love this. And, you were able to take your advantage that way. Or you could come up with a really cool build that's very strong and take an advantage that way. That's part of I think, the fun of StarCraft that, a lot of people don't get to experience because they get sort of misled into thinking there's only one way to play, there's only one way to improve, and there's not. There's absolutely not. There's many, many ways to do so. And I hope that you enjoyed this cast. Looks like Cold Steel has properly cleared out the entirety of all the forces of Chavinsky. We are at 0 to 125. Cold Steel doing good. Even getting some more upgrades, for those future battles that are incoming. My name is JaKaTaK, and as always, thanks for watching. If you have an idea for a video you would like me to do, please leave it with any questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, or anything beginning with letter C in the comment section below, and I'll see you again soon.